Hi there, welcome to Bioenergetics Scotland. Just going to do a quick video about resistance, this concept of resistance. And specifically, we mean psychological resistance. So yeah, this just means really, whenever we're trying to do something challenging or difficult, we just feel this deep psychological resistance to not do it. And this can apply to loads of things. Learning new things, we want to get into running, for example, we want to start going to the gym, any kind of fitness goals, and this psychological resistance comes up. We're trying to do something good for ourselves, and somewhere our mind sort of starts to sabotage it and stops us from doing it. There's lots of complex reasons psychologically why we do this. We're comfort seeking. They take the easy option, all sorts of reasons. We're not going to go too deep into that. We're going to talk specifically about resistance in the context of bioenergetics and working with our emotions. So we often find as we sort of progress with bioenergetics, we find ourselves starting to make excuses why we don't want to do it today, or maybe we get a few minutes into a workout. Something pops up, oh, I just got to go and do this, and we start to sort of sabotage ourselves. So why do this in the context of bioenergetics and working with our emotions? Why does this happen? So in bioenergetics, among a few other things, but really we're kind of working with repressed emotions, emotional wounds and trauma. So when we're working with these, things start to shift inside us, sort of deep in our subconscious. As our subconscious relates to our body starts to let go a bit. Things start to come up, and our massive prefrontal cortex up here in our brain, where our ego lives, just doesn't want to feel these things. It doesn't want to feel them. It's spent all our lives just pushing this stuff down. It's trying to come up, and the ego just doesn't want to feel it. So it comes up with all these little traps and tricks to stop us from processing and feeling this stuff. For example, you're thinking of starting your workout, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I really need to write this email. Or I don't really need to do it today, I can do it tomorrow. Just a cup of tea would be much nicer. You're 5 minutes into your workout and all of a sudden you think, oh, I really need to check my phone. I was expecting this message from such and such. I need to go and check it. And we sabotage ourselves like in this way. So what can we do about this? There's a few things we can do about it. It's something we want to get over, and it's kind of like a hump. If you want to progress with bioenergetics, and if you want to progress with anything, if you want to progress with fitness goals, with learning something new, then it's a hump that you need to get over. So some of these suggestions will work it's pretty exclusive to bioenergetics, but you can also apply them to other areas of your life as well. So the first one, I guess this is specifically for bioenergetics. If you're doing a workout, it's probably like if you're doing a long workout from a video that's online or something like that, maybe this doesn't apply so much. But if you're doing a workout at home and you're just doing it yourself, the number one thing you should do is you should get a timer app. Get a timer app on your phone and make a decision. You're going to do these exercises for this number of dings for this time, and stick to it. And realize if you don't stick to it, recognize, maybe did I challenge myself too much? Set at a level that you can cope with, but just make a commitment to finish it. So that's the work. Of course, this also applies to other practices as well. So, for example, you've got a breathing practice that you do, or a mindfulness practice. We can often get into the habit of just sort of thinking, oh, I'll just stand up and do some. We kind of do it for maybe it's only really for 20 or 30 seconds or something like that. And then we kind of jump away and forget about it. Same goes for breathing practices, mindfulness practices, these sort of things. Set a timer and commit yourself to 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is that you think you can do that's a good bite-sized chunk that you can handle. Set your timer and stick to it. That's number one. Number two, so like I said, sometimes these excuses pop up, these things pop into your mind. Oh, I just need to do this. Oh, I've got to do that. Or I'm not going to do it because of this. So suggestion number two is make a note. If you're 2 minutes into your bioenergetics practice, this thing pops up into your head and you find yourself going off to do something else, make a note of that. What was it that popped up into your head? What little thing was it? Was it, oh, I need to check a work email. I need to go and get a cup of tea or whatever. Make a note of that. And if it happens again, make a note again. And you'll maybe start to recognize some patterns. So you'll know that when these things pop up, this is what's happening. This is your mind making excuses for you to avoid the feelings that are potentially going to come up and be processed. So step number three, solution number three is to feel the body. And this can apply to anything. Learning new stuff, sports and bioenergetics, with mindfulness or meditation, whatever it is you want to do, this can apply. Feel your body. When this resistance comes up, this psychological resistance, if you feel into your body when it comes up, you'll notice that there's a physical sensation associated with it, a kind of slight tension. And if you notice this resistance coming up and you feel this sensation, just sit with it. Sit down for 2 or 3 minutes and breathe and feel this sensation and acknowledge it. Don't try and shift it. Don't try and do anything with it. Just feel it. And if you do this over time and you practice this, whenever you feel this, you'll gradually feel it, get familiar with the sensation, and you'll just get so much better at handling it. And you'll find that you'll be able to progress with your goals, whatever they are, fitness, bioenergetics. You'll just find yourself be able to progress with those far more easily, with far less traps jumping up into jumping out from your ego. Number four, I touched on this a little bit in number one, but number four is know the edge of your own comfort zone. That's your comfort zone, not something that's defined by someone else, not something that's defined by your macho ego, which thinks you're going to have to go really hardcore and push yourself to the limit just as you start something. It's not going to work. What can often happen, especially guys, they have this macho idea, I'm going to take up jogging, so I need to run for 30 minutes, full tilt, to get myself fit. That's not going to work. You maybe can do that for 2-3 days, then you knacker yourself out and you give up. You've pushed too hard. The same applies to bioenergetics. Yeah? We're not trying to break ourselves. We're not trying to go super hardcore macho. We want to sit on the edge of our comfort zone, and feel. And that's what we do. Okay, so find the edge of your comfort zone. So that's 4 little tips for getting over and overcoming resistance. Just finally, what to say, one point I would like to make about resistance is that this particularly applies to bioenergetics. If you feel the resistance is getting super intense, you're feeling into your body, and you can really feel this tension, this physical resistance that kicks in to doing bioenergetics. Often this signifies that things actually below the surface are really shifting. And if you can keep going, if you can feel into this resistance, feel your way through it, and carry on with the bioenergetics, that's when breakthroughs are made. That's when things start to process, and they come up, and often they come up. It's nowhere near as bad as we think it's going to be. It can be a gentle process. They come up gently, and they process, and we get them out. We start to feel better. We can move towards the things we want to do. We can move towards our fitness goals and all sorts of other things in life. So in that regard, if we can deal with this resistance in bioenergetics, we'll find that will knock on to resistance that we feel in other parts of our life as well, whether it be work goals, social goals, about making friendships, all that sort of thing. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for listening. That's resistance. See you next time. Thanks very much.